In a world saturated with relationship advice, often sugar-coated with romantic ideals and societal expectations, it's time to confront a less comfortable truth. Relationships, at their core, involve a subtle game of psychological maneuvering. This isn't about advocating manipulation for selfish gain, but rather about understanding the underlying dynamics that govern attraction, influence, and ultimately, the balance of power within a partnership. Many men find themselves lost and confused in the realm of romance, constantly chasing after affection and struggling to decipher the enigmatic nature of women. They seek guidance, only to be met with platitudes and ineffective strategies that leave them feeling powerless. This essay aims to shatter those illusions, offering a raw and unapologetic perspective on how the female mind operates and providing the tools to navigate the intricate landscape of relationships with confidence and control. By dismantling the myth of women as innocent, fragile beings and acknowledging their inherent strategies for achieving their desires, men can equip themselves with the knowledge necessary to level the playing field and ultimately win in the game of love. This involves understanding the power of emotional triggers, harnessing the impact of fear, mastering the push-pull dynamic, subtly undermining confidence, and recognizing the weakness of excessive emotional availability. It's a journey that demands courage and a willingness to challenge conventional wisdom, but the rewards are immeasurable. Genuine connection, unwavering attraction, and a relationship built on a foundation of mutual respect and understanding. Embrace the discomfort, shed the naivete, and prepare to unlock the secrets of attraction that have been hidden in plain sight. The pursuit of a fulfilling and balanced relationship often feels like navigating a complex maze, filled with unspoken rules and hidden agendas. Understanding these dynamics is not about exploiting or deceiving, but about recognizing the subtle psychological currents that influence attraction, connection, and ultimately, the power balance within a partnership. This section will delve into specific strategies that, when employed with mindful awareness and ethical consideration, can empower individuals to take control of their romantic destinies. 1. Triggering emotional responses, the key to a woman's mind. Conventional wisdom often dictates that logic and reason are the cornerstones of effective communication, particularly in relationships. However, when it comes to understanding women, relying solely on logic can be a futile endeavor. While men tend to process information and make decisions based on rational analysis, women are primarily driven by their emotions. This doesn't imply irrationality or lack of intelligence, but rather highlights the fundamental differences in how the male and female brains are wired. Therefore, if a man wishes to truly connect with a woman and influence her behavior, he must learn to tap into her emotional landscape. The key lies in understanding that women are inherently receptive to emotional cues and that their actions are often dictated by how they feel rather than what they logically understand. They are wired to react to feelings, and this is precisely how they control men without them even realizing it. They play on your emotions constantly, acting upset, using guilt, or pretending to be hurt. Men have probably experienced this already and are often left confused, trying to figure out what just happened while she's already taken control of the situation emotionally. Instead of wasting time trying to explain things or make sense, men must learn to trigger her emotions first. You should want to keep her on edge, guessing what's coming next. Logic doesn't create attraction, but unpredictability does. When a man can make her feel, whether that's happiness, excitement, jealousy, or fear, he can control the dynamic. She'll keep coming back for more because emotions are addictive, and she'll start to associate those highs and lows with him. Understanding emotional dynamics. Before diving into specific techniques, it's crucial to understand the nuances of emotional influence. Women are not monolithic entities. Their emotional triggers and sensitivities vary depending on their personality, past experiences, and individual vulnerabilities. However, certain emotional responses are universally prevalent. Excitement and anticipation. Women are naturally drawn to novelty and excitement. A man who can inject a sense of adventure and unpredictability into a relationship is far more likely to capture her attention and hold her interest. Happiness and joy. Creating positive experiences and eliciting feelings of happiness and joy are essential for building a strong emotional bond. Sharing laughter, engaging in fun activities, and offering genuine compliments can significantly enhance attraction. Jealousy and insecurity. While playing with jealousy can be a dangerous game, a touch of healthy competition can subtly ignite a woman's desire and keep her on her toes. This doesn't involve blatant infidelity or malicious behavior, but rather a carefully calibrated display of confidence and desirability that makes her question her position in his life. Fear and vulnerability. While it may seem counterintuitive, tapping into a woman's fears and vulnerabilities can create a powerful sense of intimacy and connection. This involves demonstrating empathy, providing reassurance, and offering a safe space for her to express her deepest insecurities. The art of emotional manipulation. The term manipulation often carries negative connotations, but in the context of relationships, it simply refers to the strategic use of emotional triggers to influence behavior. When employed ethically and with genuine affection, emotional manipulation can be a powerful tool for building attraction and solidifying connection. Creating emotional spikes. This involves alternating between periods of intense attention and affection and moments of calculated distance and indifference. The constant fluctuation between highs and lows creates a sense of emotional dependence, as the woman becomes addicted to the validation and excitement that the man provides. For example, one moment he's giving her attention and making her feel special, and the next he's pulling back and being distant. This back and forth creates confusion and makes her seek validation from him. It keeps her emotionally hooked because she'll never be sure what's coming next. Playing on insecurities. Subtly tapping into a woman's insecurities can create a powerful sense of vulnerability and dependence. This involves making her question her self-worth and seek reassurance from a man, thereby solidifying his position as a source of validation. Women have an agenda. They want to control the relationship by keeping you emotionally invested, but when you learn to manipulate her emotions before she can manipulate yours, you've already won. Emotions are the key. Logic gets you nowhere. Once you start playing with her feelings, you'll see how quickly she'll fall in line. It's time to stop wasting time being rational and take control of the emotional battlefield, and you'll never lose again. 2. Harnessing her fears, the key to emotional control. While the idea of tapping into a woman's fears may seem ethically questionable, understanding her deepest anxieties is crucial for gaining control and establishing a dominant position in the relationship. It's essential to clarify that this doesn't involve inflicting emotional harm or exploiting vulnerabilities for personal gain, but rather recognizing the power of fear as a motivator and using it to shape her behavior in a way that benefits both parties. Men must understand that women's fears run deeper than they think. Fear of abandonment, fear of rejection, fear of not being good enough. These aren't just insecurities. They're weaknesses you can use to stay in control. Once you find out what she's truly afraid of, you can use that knowledge to make her dependent on you emotionally and mentally. Identifying her deepest anxieties. Every woman harbors a unique set of fears and insecurities, shaped by her past experiences, societal pressures, and personal vulnerabilities. Some common anxieties include fear of abandonment. The fear of being left alone or replaced by another woman is a primal anxiety that affects women of all ages. Fear of rejection. The fear of not being good enough or worthy of love and affection can lead to self-doubt and a constant need for validation. Fear of aging. Societal pressures to maintain youthful beauty can trigger anxiety about the aging process and the loss of attractiveness. Fear of failure. The fear of not meeting expectations or achieving success can lead to self-sabotage and a reluctance to take risks. Fear of dependence. Some women fear to be too reliant on others. Leveraging fear for control. Once a man has identified a woman's deepest fears, he can strategically use that knowledge to shape her behavior and solidify his position in the relationship. Creating emotional dependence. By subtly playing on her fear of abandonment, a man can make her emotionally dependent on him. This involves alternating between periods of intense affection and moments of calculated distance, making her constantly crave his attention and reassurance. Establishing dominance. By tapping into her fear of rejection, a man can establish himself as the ultimate source of validation. This involves withholding praise and affection, making her constantly strive to earn his approval. Setting the pace. By subtly using her fears, a man can set the pace of the relationship. Maybe she's afraid of being alone, or maybe it's the fear of being replaced. Whatever it is, once you find that fear, you've got leverage. Ethical considerations. It's crucial to emphasize that the use of fear as a tool for control must be approached with ethical consideration. It's important to never terrorize women, but rather understand what motivates her behavior, as fear is a huge part of that. When you subtly use her fears, you're the one who sets the pace of the relationship. Bottom line, learn to identify her fears, and you'll have a level of control she won't even see coming. You don't need to play nice, you need to play smart. Fear is a powerful tool, and when used correctly, it keeps her right where you want her. 3. Mastering the push-pull technique, the art of keeping her hooked. Maintaining long-term attraction and keeping a woman emotionally invested requires more than just initial sparks and fleeting moments of passion. The key lies in creating a dynamic of constant tension and uncertainty, making her perpetually yearn for your attention and validation. This is where the push-pull technique comes into play, a subtle yet powerful strategy that involves alternating between displays of affection and moments of calculated distance. If a man wants to keep a woman on edge, always thinking about him, there's one technique that works like magic, the push-pull technique. It's simple but powerful. You give her attention, then pull away. You make her feel special, then suddenly go cold. This constant back and forth creates emotional tension, and emotional tension is addictive. She'll keep coming back for more because you've created a psychological need for your validation. The mechanics of push-pull. The push-pull technique operates on the principle of creating emotional tension and uncertainty. By alternating between giving and withholding affection, a man can keep a woman constantly guessing, making her more invested in the relationship and more eager to earn his approval. The push, affection, and attention. During the push phase, the man showers the woman with attention, compliments, and affection. He makes her feel special, valued, and desired. This creates a sense of euphoria and establishes a positive emotional connection. The push phase includes things like giving her attention, making her feel like she's the center of your world, complimenting her, and taking her out to make her feel special. The pull, distance, and indifference. After a period of intense affection, the man suddenly pulls back, becoming distant, aloof, or indifferent. He may not respond to her messages as quickly, cancel dates, or simply seem less interested. This sudden change in behavior creates a sense of anxiety and uncertainty, making her question her position in his life. The pull phase means being distant, not replying as fast, or acting busy. The psychology of the push-pull. The push-pull technique is effective because it taps into several key psychological principles. Scarcity. When something is readily available, its value decreases. By withholding attention and affection, the man makes himself seem more scarce and therefore more desirable. Uncertainty. Women are naturally drawn to mystery and intrigue. By being unpredictable and inconsistent, the man keeps her guessing, making her more curious and invested in figuring him out. Emotional addiction. The constant fluctuation between highs and lows creates a sense of emotional dependence. The woman becomes addicted to the validation and excitement that the man provides, making her more likely to chase after his attention and approval. Implementing the push-pull technique. To effectively implement the push-pull technique, a man must carefully calibrate the balance between affection and distance. Too much affection can lead to complacency, while too much distance can lead to resentment and disengagement. Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber's infamous relationship is a great real-life example of the push-pull technique. If men want to create uncertainty, a never-ending cycle of hope and doubt, they need to start with the push, give her attention, make her feel like she's the center of your world, compliment her, and take her out to make her feel special. Then when she's at the peak of feeling good, they must pull back, be distant, don't reply as fast, or act busy. This sudden change in behavior will throw her off, and she'll start chasing that higher again. She'll wonder why you've pulled away and try to get your attention back. That's the emotional tension you need to maintain control. The most important part is to never let her feel too secure. As soon as she feels like she's figured you out, she'll lose interest. Women don't want predictable. They want excitement, even if it's emotionally confusing. That's why the push-pull works. It creates a cycle of emotional highs and lows that keeps her in ed. 4. Subtly undermining her confidence. The art of keeping her on her toes. In a world saturated with insincere compliments and superficial validation, the ability to subtly undermine a woman's confidence can be a powerful tool for maintaining her interest and solidifying your position in the relationship. The goal isn't to inflict emotional damage or shatter her self-esteem, but rather to create a dynamic of playful challenge and healthy insecurity that keeps her engaged and constantly striving to earn your approval. Women aren't looking for pushovers. They're looking for men who can subtly undermine their confidence just enough to keep them wanting more. Men aren't talking about outright disrespect or cruelty. They're talking about subtle psychological tactics that make her doubt herself and keep her seeking your approval. Women are constantly bombarded with attention and compliments from men trying to win them over. But what happens when you're the one who isn't falling all over her? She starts to question herself, and that's when you have the upper hand. The psychology of healthy insecurity. While excessive insecurity can be detrimental to a relationship, a healthy dose of self-doubt can actually enhance attraction and keep a woman engaged. When she feels like she needs to constantly prove herself to you, she's more likely to invest time, energy, and effort into the relationship. Challenging complacency. By subtly undermining her confidence, you prevent her from becoming complacent and taking your attention for granted. Creating a sense of mystery. When she's not entirely sure of your feelings or opinions, she's more likely to be intrigued and curious about you. Driving her to improve. A healthy dose of insecurity can motivate her to work on her flaws and become a better version of herself. The art of subtle undermining. The compliment sandwich. Start with a genuine compliment, follow it with a subtle critique, and then end with another compliment. This creates a push-pull dynamic within a single interaction, leaving her feeling both valued and challenged. For example, tell her she looks beautiful, but that her outfit might not be the best choice for the occasion. This creates a push-pull dynamic within a single interaction. She feels good, but then starts to doubt herself, and that doubt makes her seek your approval more. The disappearing act. Show interest and then pull back, giving her attention, making her feel special, and then suddenly becoming distant. She'll start to wonder what she did wrong and will try to win back your attention. This creates a dynamic where she's constantly trying to prove herself to you, which keeps her emotionally invested. The enigmatic persona. Maintain a sense of mystery by not revealing too much about yourself. Keep her guessing about how you feel, what you're thinking, and what your next move will be. When she's uncertain, she's intrigued, and that intrigue keeps her coming back. Ethical considerations. It's crucial to emphasize that the goal of subtly undermining her confidence is not to inflict emotional damage or manipulate her into submission. It's about creating a dynamic of playful challenge and healthy insecurity that keeps her engaged and constantly striving to be her best self. Remember, the goal isn't to break her spirit, but to create a dynamic where she values your opinion and seeks your validation. When you subtly undermine her confidence, you position yourself as the one she looks to for reassurance. This gives you control in the relationship and ensures that she remains emotionally invested in you. 5. Emotional availability, the unexpected weakness. In a society that encourages men to be open and vulnerable with their emotions, the idea that emotional availability can be a weakness may seem counterintuitive. However, Many men are often fed lies by society, telling them to be open, to share their feelings, and to be vulnerable. But the truth is, women don't respect men who wear their hearts on their sleeves. They respect men who are in control of their emotions, who don't crumble under pressure, and who maintain a sense of mystery. When you're too emotionally available, you become predictable and boring. Women aren't attracted to men who are always there, always sharing, and always open. They crave the excitement of the unknown, the challenge of figuring you out. When you're an open book, there's nothing left to discover, and that kills attraction. The allure of mystery and control. Women are naturally drawn to men who exude strength, confidence, and a sense of control. Men must think about James Bond. He's the epitome of masculine mystery and emotional control. Bond doesn't sit down and pour his heart out to anyone. He keeps his emotions in check, and that makes him irresistible. Women want to crack his tough exterior, to be the one who sees his vulnerable side. But if you're to open up too easily, he would lose that allure. Strength and stability. In times of crisis, women need a partner who can provide emotional support and stability. A man who is overly emotional or prone to outbursts can be perceived as weak and unreliable. Challenge and intrigue. Women are naturally drawn to men who present a challenge and keep them guessing. An overly available man who constantly shares his feelings and seeks reassurance can be perceived as boring and predictable. Masculine energy. Traditional masculine traits, such as stoicism, independence, and self-reliance, are still highly valued by women. A man who is overly emotional or dependent can be perceived as lacking in these qualities. The art of controlled emotional expression. This doesn't mean that men should suppress their emotions entirely or become emotionless robots. It's about being selective and strategic about when and how they express their feelings. Women are emotional creatures, and they need a rock to anchor them. If you're constantly sharing your feelings and being vulnerable, you become another emotional burden for them to carry. Instead, you need to be the one who can handle her emotions while keeping yours in check. This doesn't mean you should be a robot, but you need to be selective about when and how you share your feelings. Be strategic with your emotional availability. Share enough to show that you're human, but never lay all your cards on the table. Keep her guessing about what you're thinking and feeling. This creates an emotional tension that keeps her interested and engaged. Strategic vulnerability. Share your feelings in a way that demonstrates strength and resilience, rather than weakness or insecurity. Emotional intelligence. Show empathy and understanding without becoming overly involved in her emotional problems. Maintaining a sense of mystery. Keep some aspects of your life and personality private, leaving her wanting to know more about you. Ethical considerations. It's important to emphasize that the goal of controlling emotional availability is not to manipulate or deceive women. It's about creating a dynamic of respect, admiration, and mutual attraction. Remember, emotional availability is not the same as emotional intelligence. You need to understand and manage your emotions without being overly expressive. Show empathy, be a good listener, but keep your inner world private. This creates a sense of mystery and strength that women find incredibly attractive. Conclusion. Embracing the game and achieving relationship success. The journey through the unspoken rules of attraction may be challenging, but the rewards are well worth the effort. By embracing the psychological dynamics that govern relationships and strategically employing the techniques outlined in this essay, men can take control of their romantic destinies and achieve lasting success in love. It's not about being manipulative or cruel. It's about understanding the dynamics and using them to your advantage. Relationships are a game of psychological power, and those who know how to play will always come out on top. Key takeaways. Emotional triggers. Women are primarily driven by their emotions, so understanding and tapping into their emotional landscape is crucial for building attraction and influence. Harnessing fear. Identifying and strategically leveraging a woman's deepest fears can create emotional dependence and solidify your position in a relationship. Push-pull technique. Alternating between displays of affection and moments of calculated distance can create emotional tension and keep her constantly yearning for your attention. Subtle undermining. Subtly undermining her confidence can prevent complacency and keep her engaged in a relationship. Controlled emotional availability. While vulnerability is important, excessive emotional availability can be perceived as a weakness. Maintaining a sense of mystery and control is essential for attracting and retaining a woman's interest. By mastering these strategies and approaching relationships with a strategic mindset, men can unlock the secrets of attraction and achieve lasting success in the game of love.